5-zip out of the gate. A little over a minute and a half gone. And gunning it down from the corner is Paul George. Ilyasova against Miles. Sends it inside for Morris. Battered away by Hill to Paul George. Paul George, left wing gunning, got it. He looks like he's in mid-season form, doesn't he?
Mid-season form, just
that,
so
folks,
smooth.
is a scoring machine. Indiana with a shot clock down to 4, and Paul George just tripled from the top.
Man, he's right
now.
now.
What me worry?
Wow.
Indiana to Paul George, left corner long. Hill against Jody Meeks, screen from Turner. Hill fires, it's in and out. Long rebound comes back to Hill. Bounces behind him to Paul George. Buries another 3. What a show by Paul George in the first quarter. Rebound comes long to George Hill. Left wing to Paul George.
Oh, boy.
Another triple. Another. What are we looking at here? Paul George works against the Piston rookie Stanley Johnson. Drives him to the lane, flips up a floater, fills it up. Around and down. Dishes sideline right to Paul George. Turns and fires and fills it. Tavius backs up to the timeline. Looping feed left corner. Paul George turns and fires and fills it. Shot clock was running out.
Did you see how quick that move was, though? He was so precise.
Young, Stuckey, George, Turner, and Allen are out there for Indiana. Top of the circle, George unloads and scores.
Atta baby, Paul.
Off the dribble, Paul George scoring. He'd missed his first 4 shots, 52-38. Now at the other end, George is knocked to the floor right side of the lane. Threw it away. Robinson steals it, sends it center of the floor to George. Nicely done back to Robinson. He missed it, but right there to clean up and finish the play is Paul George. And 11 shots from the floor here in the third. Indiana's made 8. Here's George.
Boom, baby! Paul George.
Aaron Gordon, one of 5 Arizona players in this game. The Pacers have 3 and the Magic have 2. George driving into the lane, draws contact and a foul with 2:31 to play in the third. The Pacers leading by 1.
Cody Zeller, the former Indiana Hoosier out of Washington, Indiana. And this guy's a good three-point shooter. Troy Daniels in his 3rd year out of Virginia Commonwealth. He's in the starting lineup tonight with Walker.
And you see as the Pacers are going with their smaller lineup, you know, some flexibility to Frank Vogel to be able to play Paul George at both that 3 and 4 spot. Today he's at the 4.
And George Hill for 3.
He's a guy, I think, as you looked at this year, and particularly the preseason, Chris, I think George Hill is going to have to find his rhythm, and it'll be interesting when he does.
And now Paul George on the baseline.
Good job getting back by Miles. And Paul, that's what he did. He came and helped.
7. He averages 2 blocks in the preseason.
And he kept it in.
There's Paul George. He has shot 40% from three-point range in the preseason. Pacers without Monte Ellis tonight. Jordan Hill is also out. And here's Mahinmi. That was a much better play than we saw at the end of the half.
The spacing was different.
Another 7-0 run. Here's Paul George. What a move by PG!
That's the kind of thing he can do. I mean, it's one dribble and a spin.
And with Paul George.
Good help there by Miles Turner. Made Kaminsky's shot difficult.
Oh, nice pass into Turner.
That was nearly stolen by Jimmy. Paul George. He hangs and fires and scores. Paul George using the screen at the top. Here's Paul George. Just walked into a 3. Ball batted back out. George. Bucky whips one down.
That leg looks okay to me. Woo!
Wow. Man. Monte Ellis drive, flips it up and scores. Nice move on the dead run.
Turnover.
Whip back. Paul George long 3 and he buried it. That was nice
small ball.
There, yeah.
Teams are trying to adapt that small ball.
Another turnover. Lead pass to Paul George. Wheels in, lost the handle on it, got it back, lost it again, tracked it down.
You gotta get out there on him.
And then fires the shot and
Oh my
scores.
goodness! You gotta hustle out there to him.
George trying to bounce off Butler and scores.
Tell you what, he's back.
He's a shot. That was
He's back.
Yeah, creative right there. Paul George walks it out toward the timeline, begins his dribble against Taj into the lane. Little fadeaway jumper is good.
And now he's able to get some contact, even though it's with the pads. It's good to see that he's out on the court. Good defense.
Oh, that's a terrific defense in that matchup.
Back and recovered from that. You hate to see a guy go down with injury, especially during the offseason, as he was playing with Team USA, wide open.
In the air and buried it. That's a
we know they're going to try to foul you. Put some pressure on him. Oh, left him wide open.
George for three. He rounds that down. A three-point field goal, 101-94.
2 dribbles and a handoff to George. He'll come down the right side, run into traffic, and feed it outside left. Ellis is short with a 3. Rebound to the foul line. George grabs it and knocks it down.
He can shoot it. He helps out. He's good for team defense. There's a dandy.
Ellis out of the timeout, lobbed it into the lane where George dunked it. George with it for Indiana, directly on top. Threads it left side of the circle. Allen turns and faces the basket against Ilyasova. Down to George, double team left baseline. He'll dribble away from traffic, feed it into the lane. George Hill makes an acrobatic catch, and then Johnson has 4. That was an impressive display. George tries to get it right back. He does. Count it and put him on the line. He came. He's up top, matched with the rookie Johnson. Down to 11. Still bouncing stationary. Down to 7. Edge of the arc. Top of the circle. Crossover. Got him an 18-footer, and he nailed it.